Welcome back, guys, and in this video we are going to move the Raspberry Pi onto the home network. At the moment it's connected over Wi-Fi, and what we want to do is try and give it a more predictable, repeatable IP address. And at the moment it's using Wi-Fi, so we're going to take the MAC address of the Wi-Fi adapter and the Ethernet adapter, and we're going to try and give it a more predictable IP address, which will then come into handy when we start setting up DNS names and of course for SSH access. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to move it onto the network so that it doesn't need to be connected like this. So you can see it's booted up. You can see it's running. You can see an ugly cable running from the back of the monitor, which is used for the HDMI adapter, the blue Ethernet cable, the white power adapter. We want to comfortably just hide this away in under a closet, or where your router lives, or a home network rack or something like that. And that's going to be the next challenge. What we're going to do is we're going to move it into the network rack setup in my home. So yeah, let's switch now over to a browser where we're going to start moving the Raspberry Pi onto the home network with a fixed IP address. The next thing to do is, once your Raspberry Pi is fully booted up, open up the default web browser. I think I've got Chromium installed on here. Access your network router's default admin page. I use ASUS on my home network, and you are going to want to log into it as normal. Type in your credentials. Once you've successfully logged in, we want to head over to the local area network settings, where we'll be able to manually assign MAC addresses to fixed IP addresses. And to do that, we can look up the network map, and then from there you can look up view client list, and then from the client list you can look for the adapter you're interested in. So my Raspberry Pi here, you can see it's got a network adapter symbol, and sometimes when it's got a wireless symbol, it means it's connected to a different wireless radio from the network router. So that's how easy, and I do personally recommend ASUS stuff for your home networking. It is a really comprehensive and very impressive piece of kit. It cost me about £200, so it's quite a lot to stomach in one go. But yeah, this is how we look up the different wireless adapters and wireless clients connected to the home network. And if you find things on your home network with a MAC address and a name that you don't recognize, so you see we've got the fridge on here, we've got the Samsung dryer, different devices on the home network, Xbox, TV, etc. You can actually reverse look up the MAC addresses to see the manufacturer that produced the network adapter that you're trying to figure out, well, who does this belong to? And then from there you can try and do a bit of put your Sherlock Holmes hat on, trying to figure out if you've got a rogue device attached to your home network. Anyway, let's move on. So I'm going to attach and assign a fixed IP address for the wireless adapter of the Raspberry Pi and the local area network Ethernet adapter for the Raspberry Pi, so that the IP addresses will be a lot more predictable. And then we're going to move on to setting up remote desktop access. Lastly, don't forget to click apply. I made this mistake a few times. If you don't click apply, the settings don't actually get affected onto the router itself. Once this is done, then you'll have to reconnect to all your devices, and then you should get the IP address that you've set, and then we can finally move on to remotely accessing the Raspberry Pi in a headless way. Now, to force all your clients to reconnect, you can either go around your house and manually turn every device off, or you could turn off your router, let it wait 60 seconds, or if there's a reboot function built into the router interface, you can click on that, and then that will force every single wireless client, network wired client, to reconnect back to the router, and then force the DHCP server to reassign IP addresses again, either manually or automatically. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to reboot the router. It takes about 60 seconds, and then once that comes back up again, we should hopefully have our fixed IP address mounted or assigned. Now we're just going to confirm that the IP address has officially changed. So we're going to go back into the router settings, view list, Raspberry Pi, that's the MAC address, and amazing, it's actually set to the correct IP address. So that's awesome. Now we're going to move on to finally setting up remote desktop access, and that's going to be the second part of this video. So this video is just about helping you to move your Raspberry Pi onto your home network. The next part would be to actually set up remote desktop access to it. So tune in for that video. Thanks for watching. See you around.